everyone and everybody, all of us, even you.
I want to start with the medical interns. And this is to demonstrate the difference of priority between a nationalist center-left party like Uganda People's Congress and the National Resistance Movement. The question of the interns is not just a question of allowances. It touches on the priorities a government sets for itself and sets for its purpose. As UPC, we look at the interns as a key factor in delivery of health services for the citizens of Uganda. So even if you had a problem with the interns, the end delivery is the citizens of Uganda. And therefore, you must have a system which works for and on behalf of the citizens of Uganda. At the end of the day, you want the Ugandan citizen to walk into a health facility and be able to get the services necessary. To be able to do so, that intern, those medical facilities, those nurses, all of those who are working there need to be in a position to be well respected and well catered for. So as UPC, we take it differently from how NRM have always approached their issues. And as such, of recent, even during the last campaign, UPC presented an affordable housing alternative targeting workers such as the interns, the medical workers, the teachers, the policemen, the prisons officers who constantly move up and down this country. As UPC, we feel these are important workers because they also do an important job for the citizens of Uganda. They need to be catered for. They need to be housed. They need to be in an environment where they can raise their families in a decent way. That is the difference. UPC presented policy alternatives, well calculated, well worked out for and on behalf of the citizens of Uganda. These statements of things have improved, health services have improved, but the statistics do not answer the questions of what a parent goes through to raise a family, what a teacher goes through to be able to deliver the lesson, to be able to reach the classroom. What do we deal with the farmers? All of these questions as UPC, we need strong systems in place. As we move ahead, UPC is going to continue to challenge the NRM on the question of policy priorities, looking and putting in context where do the people fall as far as this equation is concerned. And for UPC, I can confidently tell you that I can justify everything. I can argue every point I have ever made concerning health services, concerning education, backed with documentary evidence. And this evidence is based around the budget speeches and manifesto priorities. UPC laid it clearly what we hoped to be able to achieve and what was able to be achieved. In the budget speech, I had an issue of the president mentioned that by the time they came into government, there was 60 megawatts of power. That does not answer the full question or does not address what happened before. If you follow from what took place, UPC inherited a collapsed country, basically. The initial program was how to operate and how to get the production electricity generation back on track. UPC came up with a policy program, sought funding, and started implementing. By the time NRM came in, Owens Falls was being operated from the original installed 150 megawatts to 180 megawatts. So far, 60 megawatts had been completed. Why I'm stressing this one is that I don't want people to go with the illusion that NRM came and suddenly came with an idea which got the power generation to move. I am putting it clearly on record. UPC came with the idea. UPC sought funding. UPC put it into action. NRM found it in place and still continuing. So on power generation, as far as the state of the nation is concerned, those facts, I will be able to provide you with clear evidence of UPC's prior thoughts around this issue. Another issue the president talked about was the funding of Uganda Development Bank. that this is a key area for industrialization. Funds are going to be put in Uganda Development Bank and they're going to go for on lending. I am standing here as the president of UPC to say that that is not an innovation. Go back to the documents from in fact, the Uganda Development Bank, you trace it in the 60s. On the work for progress, UPC put the Uganda Development Bank. During the 1980s, money had been put severally in Uganda Development Bank. The rehabilitation of industries. You can talk about the sugar industry, which NRM came and found almost complete, and they say they brought sugar. No. Trace it back, Uganda Development Bank, UPC mobilized the funds into Uganda Development Bank. All of the industries which were revived in that period between 1981 to 1985 are covered very well in that during that process, including the dairy corporation, which the president talked about, and the delivery of coolers. That was all part of the program, was funded, and it was in place. So the other element which I want to also touch on the President's State of the Nation address, he talked about agriculture and commercial agriculture. On this one, I want to put it on record that UPC was miles ahead. And when UPC approached this problem, did not only look about one side of the problem, we looked about the production, the marketing, and being able to access different markets, transporting the goods. So I feel Uganda is not getting their fair, or Ugandans are not getting their fair recognition from their government. If we cannot respect the interns who deliver us health services, how do we expect that we're going to be working with the extension workers to be able to support agriculture? How are we going to support those who are going to try to export whatever we produce? How are we going to deliver veterinary services across this country? Yet the country seems to be divided, that some areas have services, some areas don't have. The cooperatives, how do we strengthen the cooperatives in a way whereby they will be working for and on behalf of the people of Uganda? So all of these questions come out, and how do these matters be addressed? I, as Jimmy AKENNA and Uganda People's Congress, we went into the 2026 election with a clear policy program on how we wanted Uganda to move. Unfortunately, we are not able to present that program to Ugandans, but many of the ideas are still relevant. And so we're going to be bringing these ideas time and time again, addressing concerns which we feel are very important to the people of Uganda.